thought I'd do a quick screencast just to help you through your resubmissions for Organising Events Assignment 1. So reading through all of your assignments, it became quite clear quite quickly that a lot of you haven't read through the criteria before you started the work. You got a rough idea of what you were doing, but then you didn't make sure that it was correlating with your work correctly. A lot of you were describing your roles well, but then you didn't go on to describe your responsibilities, which is needed along with the roles to achieve the P2 criteria. So if we go down and have a look at the tasks. So for the first one, for your P1, for your poster, you're describing the 3 types of sporting events. The majority of you did this well. The things that came out from this were that some of you didn't set it out as a poster. So it needs to make sure that you're setting out your work in the correct format to achieve the criteria. So some of you need to change the text that you've written into a poster format. So I want it nice, eye-catchy. I want pictures, making sure that you're referencing them correctly. It doesn't need to be a huge amount of writing. Quite a lot of you that didn't do a poster wrote 2 or 3 paragraphs describing the event. It really doesn't need to be that much. For example, if you're explaining a tournament, you could simply say it's usually quite a short sporting event lasting a day, a weekend, or up to 2 weeks. Teams begin in a group stage format with the first 2 teams in each group progressing through to a knockout stage, and then 2 teams create then a final. An example of this would be the FIFA Football World Cup. So it's short, sweet, describes it, it's to the point, okay? That one should be nice and simple. So going on to your second task for P2, it's describing your roles and responsibilities. Like I said earlier, a lot of you described your roles well. However, you didn't go on to describe your responsibilities. Now, the spec doesn't say that you have to use these responsibilities. However, I would suggest that you do, because quite a lot of you were just re-describing the role as your responsibility. So if you use the responsibilities that I've highlighted here, you'll be able to make sure that the description is different from that of you've chosen for your responsibility. It will be a lot easier for you to do this because you've got the information from the book chapter, which is on Blackboard, as well as the PowerPoint information that we went through during this lesson, again, which is on Blackboard. So I think it would be much better if you use these responsibilities here, making sure that they link up roughly with the role that you've used. So for instance, a steward would link up nicely with health and safety. So again, your descriptions don't need to be very long. If you were going to use that of a steward, it could be simply, this role includes guiding spectators to their seats, making sure everyone is behaving appropriately, and or directing vehicles into the correct parking spaces. Stewards are usually volunteers. So it's really doesn't need to be up to 3 or 4 sentence like lines, if that. Really make sure it's nice and short. So moving on to M1, so your explanation of your job description. Sorry, of your roles and responsibilities already described. Now, some of you went on to describe or explain different roles from what you previously had, which is fine. Again, in the spec it doesn't say that, but I think it would be a lot easier if you were explaining the same ones as you previously described, purely because you know in how much detail to write this. So continuing using my example of a steward, you could say, for instance, the role of guiding people to their seat, making sure that everybody is in the correct seating arrangement. So for football, this is important to separate the 2 sets of fans, making sure that everyone is safe throughout and that everyone is behaving in the correct manner to make sure that the event is enjoyed by everybody as much as possible and in the atmosphere that it should be seen in. So it's just explaining that little bit more in depth of what you've already described. So it's the whys, it's the becauses. Again, it's really not that hard. Just really make sure that it is differing from your job description. A lot of you laid out your job descriptions in a bullet point style, which is fine. I know that's what the exemplar that I put on Blackboard was like, but make sure just because it's bullet points that you are explaining them. It needs to be in enough detail to get that explanation down. So that's all from me. I hope that's gone some way into helping you with this resub. If you're still not sure on certain bits, please message me or come and find me next week. Hope you have a nice weekend.